Good morning and welcome to Pittsburgh City Council's Cablecast public hearing for Thursday, October 2nd, 2025, relative to Council Bill 1971. Will the clerk please read the subject of the bill?
Bill 1971, resolution authorizing, pursuant to Chapter 173 of the Pittsburgh City Code, the naming of Room 902 of the City County Building to the John R. Sibbet Conference Room.
Thank you. Our next order of business will be testimony from those who have registered to speak. Each registered speaker will receive 3 minutes to address council. Please provide your name and neighborhood for the record. Our first speaker is Catherine Crushy.
Good morning. My name is Catherine Qureshi. I live in the South Side, and I'm here to speak in favor of Bill 1971 to rename Room 902 to the John R. Sibbet Room. I met John, I guess, first when I started with the city in 1993, but I didn't really get to know him until 2009. And as Councilman Lavelle remembers, and Councilwoman Cale Smith would too, that was when there was a very contentious potential sale of the pension asset, of the parking asset. A really complicated and controversial time in City Hall, and involved actuaries and potential future value of the asset and also things like this. And there was John Sibbet kind of bouncing around between City Council and the Mayor's office and the Finance Department and the Parking Authority with one solid, steadfast message, which was this is about the modest retirement savings, the pension of the hardworking men and women of the city of Pittsburgh. And it was a very grounding, consistent, steadfast message that he shared with everybody, and it was really incredibly useful. I think when we think about the city of Pittsburgh workforce, and it's not monolithic, it's very diverse. But one thing I think everybody agrees with about themselves and about their peers is that we deserve a dignified retirement. We deserve a pension, and that's why John was voted time and time and time again to be the employee representative on the pension. Everybody knew that he felt that deeply, and he would do whatever he could to uphold that. One of the things that grieves me most about John dying is that he never got to enjoy his retirement. He never got his pension. Naming the room after him doesn't fix that, but it's a wonderful gesture, and it's an important gesture. I thank you, everybody who made an effort to make this happen, and I every confidence this will pass. And we love you, John.
Our next registered speaker is Rachel Heisler.
I've never spoken from here. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me here today. I'm here in support of Bill 1971 as well. I just want to comment on Mr. Sibbet's, who I considered a friend, love for the city of Pittsburgh, for this building, and for the people who work here. I can think of no greater honor than renaming the conference room after him. I think with Mr. Sibbet, with John's love for the pension fund, for renaming that conference room after him is just such a fitting tribute, and I appreciate the consideration. I had grown to love and know John over the course of the last 5 years, and as I was commenting this morning, talking with friends, I just can't believe he's gone. And I think of him often, and he loved this building, and he loved the pension fund, and he loved his work. And like Kathy mentioned, it breaks my heart that he didn't get to actually enjoy his retirement. But I do think it almost was fitting because of how often, he loved being here. He loved this building, and he loved coming to work every day. So I appreciate your consideration, and I look forward to this hopefully passing. Thank you.
Thank you. That exhausts our list of registered speakers. If there's anyone in chambers wishing to speak, you may also come forward at this time and provide your comments for the record.
Sure. Good morning. My name is Bill Urbanek. I'm here also, former city employee and former ex officio on the pension board, I guess. I've known John Sibbet, or knew John Sibbet for many years. John was dedicated as you can get. He was also a complainer, though, too. So he'd complain about his job all the time, but he loved his job. He complained about the hours that he worked. He was here first thing in the morning. He was first employee in. And many times he was the last employee out because he had dedication to not only this building, but to all facilities that he had control over. A quick little anecdote I'll tell about John. While I was serving for the council president on the municipal pension fund, we had one of our elected members would come constantly with something to surprise us with. And it was typically things that the municipal pension board couldn't vote on, like changing pension benefits, reducing the employee contribution, or trying to give COLAs out. The fund had no responsibility over these things, so it would end up stretching the meetings out, and the actual business that was under the board's purview would take a second seat. So I got together with John and we talked about it, and he said, we said together, made a decision to require 48 hours notice before anything could be heard and discussed on the agenda. And our first exercise at that, John deemed it as the urbanic rule. And he continued to do that up until I had left the city. And it was both endearing but funny because he would just keep expressing it out that way. But John was a great man. This is very fitting to have this renaming of the room after him because of that dedication that I had mentioned earlier. And once again, I'll reiterate, it's a shame that his love of that pension system and love of all the employees and the need for the retirement for the few, that he was not able to enjoy it himself. So definitely in support, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning. My name is Scott Kunka, and I live in Point Breeze. I'd like to tell you a little bit about the history of John Sibbet. Many years ago, I was a young budget analyst in Mayor Masloff's office, and to get management experience, they sent me out to run the city garage. There was 100 employees there, all blue collar. I met John there. He was a laborer, which is, I think a lot of people agree, is the backbone of the city workforce, and he was also a union steward. And I was, I guess, young and naive, and he fought me very hard on the various union issues of the day, but he took his job extremely seriously. At some point in time, he came into my office. I went to work with a coat and tie on every day and had computers and things like that, and he said, "I'm not really happy where I'm at. What do I need to do in order to move up in this world?" And I said, and I pointed at the computer, and I said, this was in 1991 maybe, I said, you need to learn how to use this computer. You need to understand how it works, and you need to understand that if you want to move up, you can't stay in the union. Well, he did. He learned how to use the computer. He became very proficient. He was brought down here at some point in time, I'm not sure exactly when that was, to manage the city-county building. And he, as mentioned previously, he treated this building as if it was his own building. And he was, always knew that I could tell what was going on because of John's presence here. He, I guess for 10 times at least, was voted as the employee representative of the municipal pension fund. And he treated that pension fund as if it was his own. He was very budget conscious. And in fact, one of the anecdotes that I will tell, there was a gentleman whose uncle was a refuse collector who passed away. The gentleman collected his uncle's pension for about 6 or 7 years to the tune of about $100,000. So the fraud was found out, and John chased this case down like Inspector Javert. He wouldn't let it go. He brought charges against this gentleman, whatever, and gentleman was finally tried and convicted. So he cared about what he was doing. He cared about the pension fund. He cared about the other employees. And John was a good man, and he worked very hard at what he did. As was mentioned before, he worked hard for the pension. He never had a chance to enjoy the fruits of his labors. So I stand in favor of Council Bill, I can't see the bill, 1971, for the renaming of the room. We've been in many rooms during the years, but that became the mainstay of the pension board. And so I'm happy that I'm not sure who introduced the legislation, but it's a fine piece of legislation, and I would encourage City Council to approve it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. Next speaker, please. Okay.
Good morning. My name is Gino Palmasina, and I reside in the Banksville neighborhood. Thank you for having this today. I'm also the current executive director of the City of Pittsburgh Municipal Pension Fund, and I'm here to express my strong support for the proposal to rename the conference room 902 in honor of the late John Sibbet. John dedicated more than 4 decades of his professional life to serving the City of Pittsburgh. Beginning in 2000, he was also brought his wisdom, leadership, and unwavering commitment to the Municipal Pension Board as an employee representative. He served there faithfully until his passing in 2024. Throughout his tenure, John consistently placed the interests of the fund's members, retirees, and beneficiaries above all else, ensuring the long-term stability and integrity of the system. Conference Room 902 is where the Municipal Pension Board met for so many years. It holds a special connection to John's service. Renaming it in his honor is a fitting and meaningful tribute to his lasting contributions. It would serve not only as a reminder of his dedication and integrity, but also an inspiration for those who continue the important work of stewarding the pension fund for generations to come. I respectfully urge council to pass the current bill, I'm sorry, I forget the bill number, 1971, to ensure John Sibbet's legacy of service and commitment to Pittsburgh is appropriately recognized. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. Next speaker, please. Seeing no further speakers, I will simply say I knew John fairly well, and as all the speakers have mentioned, he was truly dedicated to the city, to this building, and to the pension. And he was also a committee man. He lived in the Upper Hill District, so I knew him from that perspective as well. So this is indeed a great honor and a great way to pay homage to the man that he was. Madam Clerk, if we can have this on our next standing committee agenda, and having exhausted the business of this public hearing, this meeting is adjourned.